on another great day, man. I mean, it was not the day you would have asked for, I'm sure. It started off pretty odd, watching all of those mechanics try to figure out what was going with the bike. You know, you were fortunate that they allowed you to do qualifying D, and that salvaged really a big, what could have been a really bummer day for you. And you're able to get a lap, able to get a decent gate pick, and obviously you kind of made the most out of it, all things considered. You know, I don't think that you would have thought that you would have maybe walked out of here with the 5-1, but you did. And a lot of your competitors had up and down days. It was an interesting day all around in the 450 class. Take us through your day and what it feels like to get back-to-back wins to start the season and extend your point lead.
It's awesome to get back-to-back wins, especially with, like you said, the day that we had from the get-go. As soon as the green flag dropped, my bike stopped, and it took them a while to get it fixed. It was just an electrical issue that it took some time. You know, that stuff takes time to troubleshoot. So we got it fixed, and we're able to go out for the B practice. And I think I got 3 or 4 laps in that, and, you know, put in the time, and then went racing. But the first moto was less than stellar from the start, just because I was so far back. And then one of my tear-off pulls broke, and I had to stop and kind of fix that. And then I was like 35th or something. So to salvage a 5th from that, and then go out in the second moto, had really good flow and felt super comfortable after like the halfway mark, and just kind of to go to the front was super nice.
Awesome. Max, if you can hear us, yes. Congrats. You're back in America, and I'm sure this is the kind of thing you were hoping for in your return to come back here. Talk about that second moto. I mean, it was pretty impressive. You got the whole shot, and you really made the most of that start, and you withstood pressure from Marvin. Zach got by you, but you were in there the whole time and almost took a really big moto win there. Talk about your day, talk about coming back to America and what it feels like to almost get on the podium overall, but get your first podium, on U.S. soil on a 450.
Is it working? Okay, that's good. Yeah, crazy. No, I had a lot of fun, honestly. I didn't know what to expect even coming into the first Loretta's. It's a new bike for me, a new team, and I'm coming off of an Achilles injury that I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel racing. You can do laps practicing, and I can do things controlled and precise and whatever, but and also like testing in California at Glen Helen or Pala, I came to this track and it's completely different. I mean, obviously I've spent a lot of time racing on conditions like this in Europe, so I knew what I wanted to do, but with the bike I'd never experienced it. So I just wanted to make small steps from last week to this week, and yeah, we went out in practice. It was muddy. I knew what I wanted to feel, and I wasn't feeling it, so we made a few changes. First moto, I actually got out, and I wasn't too bad. And then I was in like 8th or something, and I ended up hitting Cianciarulo in the air. Going down off the track was then the bike was upside down, and I was like, oh great, this is not going to be the best moto. But I ended up picking it up, and I thought, right, I'm just going to keep plugging away. And I mean, I was going relatively steady. And as far as it goes, that first moto was really, really tough for my foot. Where you're just dragging your legs everywhere, and you're just trying to push your way through everything. That was something that I hadn't done, and I was quite nervous in that situation. Second moto, I pulled the whole shot. The bike worked, and to settle in, and I could get a relatively good flow. I kept my goggles clean. I kept the bike, tried to not make it too hot and all of that stuff. And everything was going well. I was quick in the sand. I felt fine in the sand. And then one of these lappers, he just went completely across track and crashed right in front of me. And I was coming at him, and I just had to stop. I thought, I'm not going to try and go crazy and ride over him, or go get all squirrely and go right or left or whatever. And it was a shame, because I lost a few seconds then, and Zach got by me. And then I was fast in the sand before the finish, and I was like, right, I know obviously we'll talk about this, but I was like, right, that was my spot to set Zach up on the last lap, because I was going to run out wide and then slingshot in the turn. But Marv came out of nowhere and messed my plans up before the 10 Commandments. I didn't even realize he was that close. And he blocked me. And then I was like, okay, look, it's nice. I've led some laps for the team for my second race here. I just wanted to take a third and get out of here. You know, when anything can happen in these mud style races. So it'd be nice to go to next week on hopefully a relatively dry condition and just see where I'm at, see where the bike is, see where we can improve and go from there.
Cool. Broc, over to you. Great start to the day and third there. The second moto was I think it was just difficult for everyone. Everyone kind of, I think a lot of people maybe found it hard to pass. I think the conditions were definitely difficult, but you still brought home solid ninth in that moto, 2.9, got you fourth overall, just missed the overall podium by a point overall. So, you know, it's only your second race with the team. I'm sure it's been a learning curve for you to just try to get adjusted. You got to be pretty pumped all in all with how it went. So talk about your day and what it feels like to get on the box in a moto, almost get on the box overall, and just put Yamaha on the map and show them what you can do.
Yeah, first moto was awesome. I mean, I got off to a good start and stayed clean for the most part, and honestly just rode pretty conservative and hit my marks, tried not to make mistakes and overheat the bike and whatnot, but was able to come home second. I feel like I could have maybe pushed a little bit more, but I was a little uncomfortable, to be honest. But, I mean, I haven't raced, honestly, outdoors in 3 years, and the conditions, obviously, for being in SoCal, number one, and then obviously not being behind the gate for me was tough. But in the past, this has been kind of my strong suit. So I think the experience kind of tapped in when it needed to. But for the most part, I mean, it's good to be back racing, and I'm stoked with the crew I'm around. I've worked with most of the guys before, so for me, it's like a welcome home, to be honest. And during the week, it's been awesome. And I think we can build off this, obviously. Fourth overall, missing the podium by 1 point is great. But I wanna be there in dry conditions too. The last 2 weekends here at Loretta's, it's been, for the most part, pretty wet, rutted and whatnot. But I want to be here and I want to race with the guys up front.
Cool. I'll open it up to the media. Mitch, I'll let you go first since we didn't get you last time.
Cool. Mitch here from RacerX. My question's for Max. So just obviously you didn't get the win in the second moto, but what is it like? We kind of seen your fender peeping into the hole shot here and there out of the first turn, but what's it been like today? Like, do you leave with a feeling of accomplishment? Like, say you didn't get the win in that race, but is it like, hey, I was able to run up front? Like you said, kind of building it for next week. Just is there a sense of accomplishment after today, or what? Just how do you take this forward?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got a whole shot. I led a lap, and I felt it's a good goal achieved. I led 3 laps. I went, okay. I led until the cross flag, and I was like, okay, that's nice. I mean, when I was riding around there in the second mode, to be honest, I'm also not silly. I know the conditions were different and difficult, it was more European style or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm fine with the mud and all of that stuff. So as far as it goes, yeah, I walk out of here going, to be honest, if you'd have told me 2 weeks ago, I would have got a third place in a motor already. I'd have been pretty surprised and happy with that. You know, I genuinely didn't know where I was going to be coming in. It's hard to base myself at Pala or at Glen Helen riding because I also I'm quite in the dark with the bike because they've never raced outdoors before. So, but to be honest, I've got a great crew chief and a great mechanic who have really pulled things together. So it's, yeah, I can leave here and go to work for next week. At the end of the day, it's a bit like Broc said, we've got to go and see what it's like next week if it's going to be dry, and then I've got to go and see how we work. You know, I've done enough races. I'm happy to leave where I did in the position that I'm in at the moment.
And then did you feel any kind of like rust just because we were supposed to see in Supercross, but then you weren't able to race, like I said, at the Achilles. So did you feel any kind of rust to start this off and now like you're kind of getting past that, or what's it been like since you dropped a couple months ago? Yeah,
for sure. I'm definitely not, I'm not as good as what I was at the end of my GPs, like when I won the last Lommel GP or whatever at the end of last season. But that's just me fitness wise with my foot. I'm at 8 months, and the doctors told me I wouldn't feel normal until I'm at 12, until I'm at a year. So it's just one of those where I'm all right. I mean, today was the worst conditions, because if I'm compensating a little bit, you go off balance everywhere in all those ruts. But and I've only ridden on dry tracks. So, but yeah, I'm not going to put a number on it. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not 100% yet. But that's also, we're going to build. I'm going to build. The bike's going to build, and hopefully I can keep progressing each week. It's a short season, obviously, but the faster we learn, the better. And I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm quite happy that I'm in the battle. I'm in the race. You know, I could have come to the first race and be outside the top 20. I don't know. You know, I genuinely had no idea how the bike setup was going to be, and we came in and was like, okay, here's where we are. Make small steps each week.
And then you mentioned kind of like being a GP, you kind of have experience with these muddy races. Is there anything like a muddy race like today that you can take and build on something specific for when the conditions are dry? You can be like, all right, I know to focus on this more. This is something I did well in the mud, or this is something I need to work on. Just looking forward if it's dry or muddy or whatever the conditions are.
Yeah, it's just taking the what you learned today with the bike. So I changed quite a lot today after practice. You know, I did the first practice and I didn't feel how I wanted to feel, but I wasn't stressed on it. And I was like, all right, fine. We made a change for the first moto. We made a change then for the second moto, and I can just figure those things out, you know. And I mean, I changed things this week too. So I'm just getting knowledge of all the areas of, you know, I'm not like, I heard Zach or one of the guys say that it's the exact same bikes what they rode last year. They changed 2 clicks or something in one press conference or whatever I've heard. You know, I'm not on a bike that's familiar. When you don't have those, it's those small things that make a difference. Everyone is very good. Everyone is fast. And I know, obviously, yeah, the lap time can be a bit different when it's muddy and things like that. But the difference is small. You feel comfortable, you'll go 3 or 4 or 5 seconds faster if you feel good, or if you're fighting the bike, you won't. So it's just learning those things and taking that into the future races, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome, thanks.
Go ahead. Cooksey?
Didn't hear you there. Chris, Cooksey Media. Zach, so that second moto, there was smoke coming out of your exhaust, and Weege and Langston were both speculating about a power loss. Did you lose any power in that second moto?
First of all, are you watching Winners Take All?
Absolutely.
Legend. No, I actually had no power loss at all. I was getting on the pit board that, you know, it was smoking, and typically when it smokes, that's me being hard on the clutch. So I took a couple laps there where I was just really, really riding easy, trying to stay out of the deep spots. You know, when I got to lappers, I wouldn't panic and try to clutch it and go by them or whatever. So for me, there was no loss of power, but it was more like a mix of me just relaxing, being easier on the bike, and kind of taking it easy. I've had a couple of those situations in my career, and once I got to the front, it was quite easy to do, actually. But there at the end, on the last lap, I had a decent lead and got to the 10 Commandments where I had been good, and I cased the first one and then like rolled a couple, and then that shot my lead. So then the last couple corners, I was back on the clutch pretty hard.
Nice. Thanks, Zach.
Johnny?
Thanks, guys. This is Johnny Hopper with Cooksey Media and MX Unfiltered. Zach, this one's for you, man. First and foremost, congratulations on the win. But is there any way you can elaborate a little bit more on qualifying? I know the rules state that if you are in Group A, you got to stay in Group A. Do you feel fortunate given the opportunity to ride Group B, where a rider not of your caliber might not have been given the same chance?
I mean, I don't know, you know, about other people's chances. For sure, I'm happy that I got to race today.
Taking nothing from you, man. Awesome job. Anstie, this one's for you. With the conditions, with it being muddy, do you feel like it's an opportunity, or do you see it as, man, this is a long day ahead?
Today I thought, oh, my foot's going to hurt. That's about it. I mean, it's always an opportunity. Every race is an opportunity. To be honest, I'm not bothered whether it's rainy or dry. I just want to go out, learn, see where we're at, and go to work. I've done enough races in mud. I've done enough races in the dry. It doesn't matter to me.
Awesome. Last one, Tickle, just quick one. For all the non-pros out there, is there one tip you could give us about racing a mud race?
And I feel like today I kind of managed myself pretty well. I don't think I was the fastest guy on the track by any means, but as you can see, first moto, I just got a good start, stayed clean, and hit my marks, and worried about myself. I mean, I got passed by Eli, I got passed by Craig. Sexton even passed me, I think, even in the beginning, and I didn't let it fluster me, and I just kind of stuck to my own pace and hit the marks. I didn't feel comfortable, like I said, and I knew that. So I think that's something, as you get more experience, I think that's something you can learn. Kind of like Max is saying, if you're uncomfortable, you can be off the pace, but being comfortable can give you that couple seconds that you need. So today it was all about getting that start in the first moto and kind of keep myself away from all the nonsense, to be honest.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Ivy?
Max, it was good to see you lead some laps and lead a good chunk of that moto. I saw when you went down in the first moto, and was that a bit of a titanic struggle to get that thing turned around and in the right direction?
Yeah, yeah, I was upside down. Fuel was coming out too, so I was actually looking at that like, oh no, I knew we were tight on fuel. Well, we could have been tight on fuel anyway, especially in those conditions. But no, hands down to the team. The bike kept going. I mean, the bike kept going. The bike was solid every moto, and all the laps that we did, and it was good. Like, it was very easy to have a mess up with the bike. So especially when it was upside down, I was losing fuel. Yeah, it was a mess.
Gotcha. And Zach, let's see. You qualified, I think, 10th. So were you surprised that you were as far toward the inside of the gate as you ended up being in that first moto?
No, a lot of people are, I feel like, apprehensive to be that tight in the inside, especially on that start. Like, it favors like a box or, a couple inside of the box sort of position. And I like that tight line a lot on a lot of starts, even ones that don't favor it, just because you can manage a good start from there, even if you get a bad start. Whereas if you're out in the middle somewhere, you can, end up 20th pretty quick. But I feel like even if you do not a great start on the inside, you're going to be 5th, 8th, or 10th, So I wasn't super surprised. I thought I would be more like 5th or 6th instead of whatever I was, 2nd or 3rd. I don't even remember, to be honest. But yeah, I wasn't too surprised.
The 250 guys talked a little bit about being a race to the first puddle. What was it like sitting on the line and thinking, man, I got to beat these guys or else I'm ruined?
Yeah, so like, I don't know how far it was, maybe 50 to 60 feet out of the gate, there was that huge puddle. And if you got beat there, I mean, you were just getting splashed the whole way down and you were blind for a while. It was quite sketchy, actually. That's one thing I wish they would have done today better, is just prep the start better, because when there's standing water on the start like that, it's quite dangerous in my opinion. But it was definitely like, I got to get to that puddle first, and I didn't manage it in either race.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Dan.
And I'll give it one shot with my internet. I'll be back on good stuff next week. Zach, you've been racing off and on with Max for a decade or so. Were you surprised to see him up front?
I think I got it. So
what was it like to be?
I think what he's asking.
If you didn't hear me, Zach, I was saying you've raced with Max for a decade now. What was it like to see him up front? Were you surprised? And what was it like racing Max?
Actually, I have not raced Max that much, not nearly as much as you'd think. because most of the time I was in Europe, Max was here, and then when Max came back, I was back here. So I don't know if I've ever actually raced Max, to be honest, now that I think of it. But no, I wasn't surprised at all. Max is a great rider, won GPs and has been on a high level for a long time. So I wasn't surprised at all. I think he has a lot more to show here than just what he did today and what he has so far.
We raced him quite a bit in 11 or 12, but
11 or 12?
Get back on the track again. Yeah, and MX2.
Really?
You don't remember?
Oh, he rode for CLS, huh? Yeah, I did. 11. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Some years ago.
I'm gonna bail out with my internet. I'll be back on good stuff next week. Sorry, guys.
Okay, Anton.
All right, 2 questions. First one for Max. On all the things that you've said tonight about, having to build a setup, figure out where you guys are, this being your first year in the United States, is this part of a long-term plan to stay here with that team? Is this now, hey, I'm in the U.S., this is where I want to be full-time for the next part of my career?
Yeah, I'd like to be. Well, just to end up going back home or back. I mean, I've been living in Belgium for the last 4 years, and it's a lot nicer living in California, or not nicer living in America, I tell you. So I want to be here. It's the way that it goes with deals and teams and all of that stuff. I had great opportunities in Europe in the Grand Prix, but when I was a kid, I was always, my dad or whatever always trained me to want to come to America. And I started my career here in 2009 with J-Law KTM, and then 2010 with Star. When I was 16, I started my career in America, and I got the opportunity to come back this year. Not many guys do, It's normally, everyone was always telling me, oh, you're too old, you're MX2, 250 guys go and do that, and it's not something that 450 guys do. And honestly, I looked at the options that we had in Europe, and I spoke to the people around me, and I was like, look, if I don't take the opportunity to come to America and just give this a go, then I'll regret not doing that. And I didn't know much about the team. I didn't know a lot was what was going on. And I came out here, did the test on the bike and did some Supercross. And unfortunately, I got injured. But I actually feel like I would have rather come into outdoors first anyway. So yeah, for sure, I want to stay. And we're working on things, and I want to be here. I want to do Supercross next year. That's the thing. I want to see where we're at. Obviously, no, it's not going to be easy, but yeah, I'd rather be here than in Europe at the moment.
Great. Thank you. Zach, for you, you're a guy that even during the break, you went and did the GNCC. You've done some off-road stuff. You know how to preserve a bike. Days like today, do you fall back on those traits and know, hey, I just need to nurse this thing through to the finish line instead of just hammering it out everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit for sure. And today it was just tough conditions for bikes, period. I mean, the water on the start, that's a nightmare for electronics. And then just how deep some of the ruts were. And like you would either like hammer to clutch out of it and hope that your bike didn't stop, or just get stuck, and get winched out. So it was just a tough day in general. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm like some expert at saving dirt bikes or something, but because I'm actually quite hard on bikes. But today was just one of those days where if you could just stay in a rut and do laps, you were going to do good,
If I could get one more in for Broc, being away for so long and then coming back in and getting these results against this deep of a field, is this where you expected yourself to be, or did you think it would take a little bit longer to get into the mix like this right now?
I mean, to be honest, I want to be in the mix. Obviously, the class is pretty stacked, but I feel like I still have what it takes to be in the mix. And today I was in the mix. I want to do it in the dry conditions as well. I just want to put myself in a good position on the start, and I want to race these guys. I don't know how much longer is left in my career. I can't answer that for you. I still want to race. I'm still competitive, and I still want to do it. But and I still feel like I have what it takes to accomplish some things I haven't. So that's why I'm still here, and I'm enjoying this opportunity with Yamaha and all the people I'm around during the week. And I'm having fun. I want to enjoy this outdoor season and make the best of it.
Cool. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick one for Zach. You're 2 rounds into the season, so it's still only early days, but the championship points are looking pretty good at the moment. So what are your thoughts on that, after the two Loretta's rounds?
I mean, it's always nice to be leading the points and have red plates and, just kind of be in a good position and to have like whatever 19 or 18, I don't know what it is, after 2 rounds is really good. But it's a lot of racing left. We still have 7 rounds if everything goes to plan left. But right now, the most important thing for me is just getting points every weekend and keeping the lead as long as I can, because we don't really know this, what's going to happen in the next coming weeks or months. And that's the biggest thing, is just keep hammering away at it and stacking points.
Awesome. Thanks.
Weege.
Yeah, thanks. Jason from Racer X. I'll start with you, Zach. Were you at all thinking overall win today during the qualifying or after Moto 1? Did you even think an overall win was in the cards at all?
I mean, I would have, if someone would have told me I was going to get 2 fifths, I would have been like, sign me up,
Yeah.
But to go 5-1 for the overall, that's not really a common overall win score. And then to do it after kind of the events of the morning was just awesome. The whole team rallied around us when we were having an issue this morning, and the boys changed 3 engines between the motos, and it was a hard day for everyone on the team, and to reward them with an overall win, and RJ got a moto win, so that was super good. So it felt awesome to kind of give back to the boys.
So what was the emotion like when it sunk in that you actually turned a day where you barely qualified into winning? When did that all sink in?
I think that Marv got close to me on the last lap, and I think, according to my math, he would have won the overall.
Yeah, he would have
passed me.
Yep.
So whenever I turned the right to the finish line, I knew there was no possible way he could get me. And I had done the math that no one from the first moto who was in front of me was in the top 5 well enough to beat me overall. So I was like, dang, it kind of hit me. And then I still wasn't sure that I'd won the overall, but either way, just after the way things were going, and to turn that, we talk about momentum a lot as a group or as an industry or whatever, and to make that snowball stop after the practice deal and go out there and win is a big thing. That's probably more momentum for me than the win, is just to kind of right the ship and make it happen on a day where it could have been a flop.
You might have already mentioned this, but how did you keep calm, or did you keep calm during the qualifying deal?
I was pretty calm, but I thought, I didn't know what was going to happen or whatever. So, what do you do? There's nothing you can do. It's out of your control, and you just stand there and be ready to do your job when you're called upon.
Did you even know about the B practice deal? Like, how did that all come about, or when did that all come about to know that you had another option?
I didn't know. I had no clue what the rule was. I didn't know anything about it, to be honest.
Yep. All right. That's, I think, it for you, Zach. Thank you. I just got one for Max. Were you worried if this series didn't get going, because you didn't even get to ride Supercross? Were you maybe more nervous than other riders because you needed to get something to race this year? So were you worried that if this didn't come together, your whole season was done?
Well, if the season would have gone ahead in May, there's no way I'd have been ready. So I would have been done anyway. So it's crazy how it works. I've broken a fair few bones, like we all have, and it 2 months, whatever, you're fine. But this has been a mission of a job. I've, touch wood, never done knees or anything like that, but this is obviously the equivalent of that. I wouldn't have been racing if we'd have started in May. So I'm just happy and thankful that we are able to go racing, and I am able to even just get something, and do what we're doing. I don't know what would have happened if I wouldn't have gone racing yet. It's been a crazy year anyway, so I think it's just cool that we are all able to ride.
All right, that's it for me. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Anyone else? Dark side? Anyone? Go ahead. Dark side, go ahead.
Zacho, so first question, talk about maybe a little whiskey throttle and almost taking out Adam.
Yeah, that was a close one. I apologize to him, but I don't think he realized how close it was. I was basically riding his bike. Like, I was going for the pass down the inside, but I got kind of tipped towards him on the rut, and I was just like, "Oh man, we're both going for a ride," and he doesn't even know it yet. But yeah, it was a close one. It wasn't really whiskey throttle. I was just, those ruts were so long, and I was going for it. I was sending it, and I got, like I said, a little off balance, and just kind of sideswiped him. But we were both fine.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. All right, so you've won the last 3 professional races. I mean, you're kind of on a roll here. Obviously, unusual conditions the last couple weeks, but a very short series, and hopefully everything continues, and we do get all the races in. How do you kind of keep that momentum, but not be overly excited and make a mistake? How do you kind of balance that?
My age, I've been a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and I think that helps me keep things into perspective. It's all just, as we saw today with the practice thing, it's all within a moment, going away. So for me, it's just focusing on what I'm doing, staying in the moment. I was able to go back to the truck today after the practice thing, do some breathing, deep breathing, and just kind of calm my mind and know that there was a job to do. And that's what I always try to do, is just show up every day and be the same that I am. And if I win, I win. And if not, then I can go home and practice and be better the next time.
Right on. Broc, you've kind of touched on this a little bit, but you had some injuries during Supercross. You haven't been on the Yamaha very long. Then you come into Loretta's with this crazy weather. Kind of hard to test for that. Kind of hard to prepare this season for what you've dealt with the last couple of weeks. And then again, a short series. How do you adjust that quickly, and how do you proceed for the next few rounds?
I mean, kind of like Max said, it's been honestly a pretty crazy year for myself. It seems like when things are just getting put together, something else falls in my lap, and it's been awesome. I've good experiences, and for myself, it's been awesome to be part of the Yamaha Monster Energy Factory 450 team, and we've made progress every week. For myself, Ryan Villapoto tested the bike, I think, six weeks, and kind of got a good base setting, and then I basically built off of that coming into the first race here at Loretta's. And last week we made improvements, and then this week we made improvements. So I would say it's a lot similar to kind of what Max is dealing with, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not on the same bike for the last 3 or 4 years, but we're making progress, and we want to show up and be competitive. And I think everybody underneath the truck feels the same way. So, yeah, I'm excited to finish the series out. I mean, like you said, 2020 has been a crazy year. So make the best of each day and each race as we can.
All right, that's it.
Cool. That's all. We're done, guys. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, 450 guys. Congrats on the day, and hopefully see you here next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.